the cannons ring and the thunder rattle, rattle. You won't see a white flag lifting up from me. When the smoke clears, it's me that you see. I love the fight. I love the fight.
Thank you, Juliana. Thank you for that. I was talking for so long. Thank you so much for telling me that. And yeah, so now you see why I think it's good to have. That's why certain shows have multiple people handling the process. Thank you so much for letting me know. Now I know that I forgot to do one little thing just now. So I'm not going to repeat everything again. Basically, thank you for joining me today on day 61 of a 100-day challenge. It was inspired by someone called Andy Frisella because he has a challenge called 75 Hard. 75 days, but all all very difficult challenges, very interesting but difficult challenges, and it is a challenge in self discipline, right? So that kind of got me going, and this is part of my why I was inspired to do it, right? So this is day 61 of a 100-day challenge. Lo and behold, it's already 61 days. So just now you heard the music that was called "I Love to Fight" by Fairy or Fair. I'm not sure because it's spelled as Faire. It could be Fairy, it could be Fair. If I get the name wrong, I'm so sorry about that. But these are all indie artists, and if you do want a coupon code for getting access to this music for your live stream shows, let me know, right? So yeah, I know. Thank you so much. I know it's back on now. Awesome. Thank you. That's why I think a lot of radio shows have producers, right? So they know when something is going on air or not on air, right? Yeah, but that's one of part of this live stream things because it is supposed to be live. It is supposed to have mistakes like this. If you watch a lot of other live stream shows, sometimes certain things will go wrong as well. All of a sudden there's echo, all of a sudden there's interruption, all of a sudden the music cuts out, all kinds of things. So uh, I think that's part of the attraction of a live stream because it is very real. It is very very real. So if you are at all inspired or at all motivated to want to do a live stream, by all means, please do it. And if you need any help from me, I mean, whatever I know, I can share with you. I know, happy to do it. Let me know, right? So this just came in the mail today. It took about 4 weeks. So this is a very small little device. It's called the Mac Clip Go, and it's just little. It's just this little thing here. Okay, I'm just gonna show you. Um, so remember this thing that I showed a couple of episodes ago. This is the Rode Wireless Go. It's a bit hard to focus when it's black. Yeah, now it is. So the Rode Wireless Go is a wireless microphone, right? Which I've used in the past before. So the problem with this, remember, is that it's a bit. You see, live streams, these kind of things happen. So the problem with this is that when you put it, you can't clip it here, right? So what this does is very interestingly, a day of mishaps. It's a very strong magnet. So there are two pieces, one magnet here and one little metal piece here. So what you need to do is you just need to clip this onto one side of it like this. Let me show you. It just clips like this, right? And now, instead of actually clipping it, what you can do is you can do this. And you position it where you want it. And then there's a little magnet here. And there you have it. And it's not as visible now. If you're wearing a shirt or a jacket, it might be a little bit better. But even a t-shirt now, it's not very, very visible, right? It's not very visible. It's quite all right. So this is how it works, right? So took a while to arrive because it was a special order. Don't think many people are ordering it here in Malaysia. So it took a while to arrive from overseas. So this is how it works. And then once you want to take it off, you just have to plug out that magnet, which is very strong, by the way, which is great. And there you go. So since this came out, might as well show you. This is called the dead cat, right? It's actually just a little wind muff that is attached to the top of this thing here. And you just plug it in. And that's it. So it helps to cut out the wind noise. Just wanted to show you that this thing came in the mail. And today's show is about seed and soil, sunshine and rain, seasons and the miracles of life. This is probably one of my favorite sayings by Jim Rohn, one of my favorite trainers for personal development, right? And it talks about working with what we have or working what we got. So when I first started, I was using a lot of this, right? Because it was convenient and it sounded pretty okay and it was very portable. And if you want, I can show you like one of my earliest ever live streams. So outdoors in front of Burger King, nothing. It was just outdoors, and I was just using this mic that you saw just now, right? And that's it. That was how it was. That was how it was done. That was how it was done, right? And it sounded pretty okay, right? And then that is the idea of working with whatever you have access to. Now, why I wanted to talk about this today was because in line with the spirit of the end of the year, and everybody is talking about making resolutions and so on, right? And we did 2 episodes already about overwhelm and also goal setting and stuff like that, right? So I was listening to an Audible this morning and he mentioned this again, and it kind of like got me going and thinking like, this year has honestly been a tough year for many people, but it, like what Gary Vaynerchuk also said, don't curse the year that has woken you up. And so seed and soil, sunshine and rain, the seasons and the miracles of life is all the things that every single one of us have, right? And so it is basically our resources that is accessible to us, and every one of us have the same. So what are the seed and soils in our lives, right? Essentially could be the opportunities that come our way, the current occupation that we have, which might be not as stable as before, right? And I like what somebody once said before: if any friend ever approaches you with an opportunity, say yes first and then figure out how to do it, right? That is one of the best things you can do for yourself, especially 2021 and 2020 and 2021. A lot of things are going to be quite challenging. And the seed and the soil is quite literally the seeds of opportunity that you might have access to right now, right? Whatever it is, cherish them, look at them carefully, and work with them, right? It might very well be the thing that you really need to have, or the thing that could turn your whole life around, right? You never know. I had a failed business 3 years ago, and when I ran back to Singapore, working with whatever I got, I started to just do part-time tuition first, just to make sure that at least I can cover the rent and put food on the table, right? But even as I was doing that, I was always on the lookout for other things that I could do to make sure that I could rebuild where I wanted to be, right? So that is working with whatever we got, right? So when a friend or someone presents you with a possible opportunity, perhaps take a look at it first, which is what I did. And I'm so thankful for my good friend Kevin for doing that for me, right? So that is one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, right? And then the other thing is sunshine and rain, right? So that is kind of like the environment, right? The way I see it is that is kind of like the environment. So the seed and the soil are things that we can kind of control, right? Because we have to toil, we have to put in our effort, we have to go out and do the actual planting, right? So for example, if there's an opportunity or if it's your job, if you're working at something, then you need to make sure you are doing your absolute 100% best at whatever you're doing, so that you don't get you get promotions or promoted, or you don't get fired from your working place, right? So that is what you can control. But the next part, which is the sunshine and the rain, is kind of like a slightly more bigger part of the scale of things that you may not be able to control, because you are dependent on the environment to perhaps rain so that your seed can grow, right? You are dependent on the environment so that it it has adequate sunshine so that your seeds can grow. So that, in a sense, would be the bigger environment, or the bigger outer environment that might be impacting us right now. And the thing is, it affects all of us. So 2020 has turned everything upside down for many of us, right? And 2021 is likely to be quite similar in many aspects. But it is happening to all of us. It's not just happening to you, right? So we need to learn to work together with the bigger global environment, and make better use of, and work with it so that we can then come out stronger, right? So, for example, in a farming analogy, right? If there's too much rain, or too much, or not enough rain, uh, a hardworking farmer will not just let it be, right? They will find ways and means to, for example, if there's not enough water for the whatever they are trying to do, they will find ways and means to channel water into the plot of land that they are farming, right? So that's exactly like what we need to do, because if we know that 2021, a lot of things are not going to be face to face, we need to transition into more online Zoom meetings, live streams, podcasts, and all that, content creation for social media and all that, right? Then why not? Why we should then really embrace it, which is kind of like what I'm trying to do here as well, right? So we have transitioned to a lot of online meetings. We have transitioned to a lot of Zoom presentations. We have transitioned to even like live streams, right? So that is our sunshine and our rain for perhaps probably the next couple of years. In fact, the other day, somebody who was an industry expert in live events was kind of saying that they project that it probably would be 2024 before things can even go back to a semblance of what was normal, right? So we are at a very interesting inflection point in the history of the business climate and the world, right? So that's the sunshine and the rain part. And then the last one is seasons and miracles. One of my mentors, he coaches me on business success and business principles. And he likes to say that, he always like to quote this saying that this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass, because in seasons and miracles of life are things that are kind of not within our control. It is even one step bigger than the sunshine and rain, but yet there are certain ebbs and flows in life, and there are certain cycles, ups and downs in life, and there are certain seasons in life, right? After winter, there would definitely be spring, right? That has happened for 6,000 years of recorded human history without fail, right? We just kind of have to, and winters would obviously represent tougher times, harder times, and so on. But after harder times, there would be a easier time of opportunity, right? And like I shared the other day about ants, and ants think winter and summer in winter, right? They don't get stuck in one season, right? So in summer times, they know that it's not going to last. They got to prepare for winter. So they work very hard to gather food so that they are ready for winter. But when it's winter time, they are not just miserable. They're just thinking, it's so cold and it's so miserable. But instead, they're looking forward to when the sunshine is back and it's brighter days and they're out in the open air and gathering food happily, right? So it's the same for us, right? Uh, I would encourage everyone and anyone, if things seems a bit bleak and a bit down for now, and if things are not going as well for you, I'm sorry for that, if that is really what's happening for you. But just know that this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. And this might be a winter season for everybody, but it will pass and then spring will come, right? Spring will come and maybe, and like what we said just now, if you are able to take advantage of um, the inflection point, perhaps when spring comes, you will come out all the much better and stronger for yourself, right? That could be definitely something to look forward to, right? And the last one about the miracles of life, right? Um, is the thing about I have been exposed recently to a lot to things like quantum physics, um, law of attraction, um, the universal laws, and stuff like that. Absolutely fascinating things. Um, and if you have any kind of religious faith or belief, and I'm not advocating any of them, right? So you choose what works for you, right? But what is interesting is that you will notice that, for example, like even the farmer, when he plants a seed in the soil, and then he does what he needs to do, and then there's sunshine and rain, and then all those things. But it is actually quite miraculous that they actually sprout and grow, and he can then reap a harvest, right? And this is just one of those things that we can't really explain, right? How that miracle of life, and life in this case could be plant life, business life, success, your spiritual life, emotional life. How those things start to grow are things that we sometimes cannot truly understand, right? But it happens. It does, right? It just does, right? If you put a seed into the soil and you water it enough and care for it enough, it will bloom and blossom and grow, right? And that's very much like our business and our work life as well. There are certain principles that govern success, and if we put in the hard work, let's say you're in a sales job, if you put in enough effort into the actual lead generation, actual prospecting, actual presentation of it, right? There will come a point in time where a certain ratio will emerge, right? And there's no need to feel that you need to, like a baseball player, there's no need to feel that you need to strike 10 out of 10 times. Nobody hits 1,000, right? Even if you hit 300, it's considered a very, very good average. 300 means you hit out of every 10 pitches thrown at you, you only manage to hit 3, right? That means 3 out of 10. So for any salesperson, if you are averaging 3 out of 10, that's actually quite a remarkable sales average, right? So the idea behind this and understanding that there's a seasons and there is the miracle of life is just understanding the fact that if we work with these laws and do the things that we are supposed to do and do evaluation and reflection and work with a coach or a business coach or a mentor, and evaluate the things you're doing, then it will bear fruit, right? It will bear fruit for you, right? So that is kind of like having faith in something and believing that it will happen as long as you do the work, right? So nature, the world doesn't, so the universe doesn't say, bring me your need. It says, bring me your seeds, right? It doesn't respond to need, it responds to the deserve, right? What you deserve. So if you bring nature and the universe your seeds, which is in this case maybe hard work, maybe effort you put in your work, into your work, your job, your business, whatever, it will definitely reward you with the miracle of life that is just gravitating towards you and doing it and working at it, and somehow it will cause it to happen for you, right? I'm not an expert in this. I'm still learning, right? I have been exposed recently a lot to a lot of friends who swears by, I mean, who has a lot of experience with this, and I can understand. I can understand a little bit of it, right? I can appreciate a little bit of it, and I'm starting to appreciate it more. And if you are mindful of the things that goes on around you, then you probably can experience a little bit of that too. Which kind of brings me to a book that I mentioned before. If you are keen to learn about how quantum physics and all these mindsets can influence your financial health or wealth, check out the book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Okay, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. It actually talks about this, right? It's quite a fascinating book. It might open up your mind in certain areas if you have not seen the book. So let's say that again. It's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. It actually talks about quantum physics and financial wealth. Fascinating title, right? Yeah, but yeah, it was a good book, and I've learned a lot from it as well. So if you have happen to have not seen that book, go and check it out. So today, one of my favorite sayings from Jim Rohn, seed and soil, sunshine and rain, seasons and the miracle of life, it is in essence telling us that we just need to start to work with whatever we have got. And once we show the universe what we have, our seeds, then we will reap what we have sown, right? That is the idea behind this. Happy Saturday. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. And we are fast approaching the end of the year, starting to get a lot of Christmassy things happening, right? So as we embark towards the end of 2020 and we move to 2021, perhaps the next few episodes I'll probably talk a little bit more about goal settings, planning, and so on, because that will be what I'm doing anyway. And hopefully I'll share that with you and how we can all learn together at the same time, right? And I'm truly, truly appreciative and thankful that you are here with me. You're listening to, you're watching the live stream. Comments, feedbacks, always welcome. And the open invitation is still open, right? If you want to get your feet wet and try your hand at live streaming, I'm happy to I'm happy to invite you as a guest, and then kind of like, we do it right on the spot, right? And you can try it on your own. So that's what I'm open invitation for anyone. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.